Hello and welcome to the 125th episode of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
And I'm Bill. And I guess start off, Jason, talking about our technical problems from last week or so.
It seems like when we have three people on, which we love to do, the hosting site has had a lot of trouble processing it. So it's going to be just Dad and I until we can figure out a way to make it work. Unless we're in the same room with some of the people, I think we can get it. But we went back and forth and took all week, and I know it wasn't the best, but I wanted to put it up there anyway because I think there's still some interesting things on there. It's just
It's tough. So we're going to do the best we can, and we'll keep trying to figure out the guests because it was fun, but we just can't do it. So I don't know, where do you want to start today? There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Well, I think the biggest news, I think for the most people, it's Kawhi Leonard is now a Clipper, along with, Paul George somehow. Paul George, who just spurned the Clippers last year, re-signed with Oklahoma City with his best friend, Russ Westbrook, and now he's a Clipper.
And I finally got a prediction right.
Yeah.
So I'm ecstatic that I got a prediction right. But on the flip side of that, Oklahoma City looks like they're in total rebuild mode. And, they're going to break it. They're going to do it the right way. They're going to break it all the way down.
As much as they can. They have two contracts in Dennis Schroeder and Steven Adams that are probably untradeable. You saw they just traded Jeremy Grant for another future first-round pick. They added another future first-round pick to this team. I
saw that. And what do you think Miami has that they can give up for Russ?
It's tough if you're Oklahoma City because two of the picks you got in the Paul George trade are Miami picks. So if you trade Russ to Miami, and you're getting Miami picks, and you're also hurting the value of your own Miami picks, assuming Miami would be better with Russ.
Assuming so.
So it's sort of a weird, one of our biggest assets is our unprotected Miami picks, and I assume you would get more of unprotected Miami picks if you traded Russ there. And,
Or are they going to have to tie somebody else into the trade?
Well, I've heard, Gordon Dragic, for salary purposes. Justice Winslow would sort of be the nice piece you get. Although he's, it seems like he might be what he is, which is a nice player, but not the star people thought he was going to be.
No.
But I think if you're Oklahoma City, you want to bottom out with your own picks, and then hopefully use your, to try to, bounce back as quickly as possible. But you're not on the same timeline with Russ anymore. And if you like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who you got from the Clippers as a point guard, he and Russ are not a good fit side by side playing together. So I feel like you'd want to, move on from him.
I'd like to see Russ win a championship to shut up the doubters. But my heart tells me, and my head tells me that Russ is going to be like Charles Barkley. He's not going to win a championship.
I think sadly so. I did like the fact that it's mainly been from Stephen A. Smith, but he's finally getting some protection and some love, saying that, now stories are coming out that KD, told everybody in Oklahoma City, including Russ, he was coming back and then just bailed on the team. And Russ never said anything and took all the, Russ has been a good soldier as far as you come here. And again, he does have his flaws as a player, but one of his flaws is not doing everything he can, going 100% of the time. He doesn't take plays off.
No, he tries to win every second of every game.
Yeah. And I know analytics guys don't like him, but I don't really care.
Yeah, they don't play, so I'm not worried about him.
No. But if you're Oklahoma City, I think even if you trade Russ, on one hand, you're probably pretty pissed because James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka, who just won a championship, you had all those guys on your team. And the story seems to be that a couple, I know $2 million is a lot of money, and I'm not pretending like it's not. I would love to have, a fraction of that money. But that's what kept you from keeping James Harden for one more year. And maybe if you had Harden in that Golden State series that you ended up going 7 games, maybe you win that series. Maybe you win a championship, and everybody's legacy is different. You like what he's done as a GM right now, because on the one hand, you're excited. You're like, we have, 7 extra first-round picks, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Gallinari, who will probably give us another first-round pick if we want it sometime during the season.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're able to take Gallinari and one of those picks and get yourself off of Schroeder or get yourself off Steven Adams. It's an exciting time, to be a player, but
it is.
I think
I saw some commentary the other day that says really now if you're in 10 markets, you get a chance to win. If you're in 20 markets, you don't.
It's starting to feel a little bit like baseball, right?
Yeah. Every once in a while, there'll be a breakthrough team that will be in the running, like the Pirates right now in the NL Central being 2.5 games out at the All-Star break with the lowest payroll. So, I mean, every once in a while, I guess you're going to see that, but there's always exceptions to the rule. Nothing is ever in concrete.
Paul George is under contract was under contract for 3 seasons with the board, on a max deal, saying he wanted to stay in Oklahoma City. And I go, no one has ever given more for one player than the Clippers gave for.
No, I mean,
Paul George.
They gave a lot up. There's no question.
So if you're a GM, if somebody came to you and you're like, even if you loved your house and somebody's like, here's $1 million over market value for your house, you're probably selling your house.
True. I mean, it's like the old proverb: everybody has a price. You just have to find it.
Right. But at the same time, he went to him and asked for a trade after. So it's like, you think you're building this team. And again, I think the team had already hit their ceiling and maybe they were never going to go more than the second round at most. But, if all of a sudden, it's not just, pre-agency isn't just 1 year away. Now pre-agency is whenever that, the player is going to be ready to go. And it's like, when are you going to, how are you going to keep them?
Yeah, we'll have to see. But it's going to be, the NBA has managed to really have a lot of publicity.
And I think when Kawhi decided to go to the Clippers, now all of a sudden the other LA is not this monstrous team we were afraid. And now you've got a lot of really nice teams. I think, you still have Denver and Utah on the up. I think the Lakers are still obviously a contender. The Rockets, you can't count them out because Daryl Morey will do something.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done anything.
Well, I think part of the problem is I don't know what they have to offer.
And I don't think they know what they want to offer.
Yeah, because they've given up a lot of picks. You're not getting out from under Chris Paul. You've got Capella and Eric Gordon as your trade assets. You don't have any good young players. Like, I don't really know what they can do.
No, and I like Capella.
I do too. I think he can. He had a rough go in some of the playoff games, but I think he can still ball.
Yeah, he's an
interesting. We're talking about in the East. You can argue that Philly's the only team in the East that actually got better. Everybody else lost somebody. They lost a key member of their team. So, it'll be really interesting to see what the East looks like, especially if rumors are true and Russ ends up in Miami with Jimmy Butler. That's kind of a crazy team.
Well, we'll see what happens. I know that I will be interested in the Heat a lot more with Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah.
So,
I do worry about now that we officially got to see almost no Zion Williamson in summer league because he is shut down already with a knee injury.
Yeah, it's a knee bruise.
Yeah.
So
I was excited to see it.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait for the regular season. I mean, I get it. Like, why risk him? But
exactly.
It's still
everybody would see him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's All-Star, it's Home Run Derby night, which is interesting. And let's talk a little bit about why it might be more interesting than usual, the Justin Verlander quotes today.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
he didn't mince words at all.
He did not mince words at all. And I think, he's given up a lot of home runs this year, as is Madison Bumgarner. And these are guys that really don't give up home runs.
No. And he said Major League game balls are a effing joke.
And so we've already heard that the stitches aren't as raised as they normally were, which cuts down on the wind resistance. And then I heard Manfred say something about there's less drag on the ball. Now, that could be related to the same thing. But, I'm a marketer. And I got to say, I think it's deliberate. Manfred's trying to spin it that since the balls are handmade, there's a lot of variances. And I'm thinking, no, there's not. You want to get people in the ballpark. You want to get people in the stands. And you want to get people talking about baseball. And the way you do it is the home run. And that's what people like. And when you're getting all these massive home runs over 450 feet, that's what people talk about. And so what's the easiest way to do it? You own the company that makes the baseballs. I mean, they own Rawlings. So, I mean, the balls are made to their specifications, right?
Yeah. And just to give you context, the record was set 2 years ago for home runs in a season, which was 6,105. They're on
Yeah,
pace to 666 or 600, 668 home runs. So
yeah,
over 500 more home runs this year.
not a narrow,
No,
not
that's
a
it.
narrow record.
Now, JD Martinez, actually a hitter, what he said is that it's a power arm league, right? This is his explanation. And I'm sure Major League Baseball loves this. He said it's either a walk or a strikeout. So he said, I think you see a lot more mistakes over the plate. The velocity people are trying to get gets the ball in the air, and I think it's a recipe for home runs. So, I mean, if you're Major League Baseball, at least that sounds nice, right?
It sounds right, but I think it's a spin. I think they want a lot of home runs.
I mean, it makes the highlights. The people like scores. I mean, that's why the NFL. I mean, they made it really tough to play defense.
Yeah,
People like high scoring because I'm sure fantasy baseball is the same as fantasy football. You want your guys to be putting up bigger and bigger numbers.
you want offense.
Yeah. I mean, hockey did it in the past by, making the goalies' pads smaller. Everybody's trying to do something to, offense sells. It's a lovely thing.
And it will continue to sell.
Yes, it will.
So I will monitor this. Jock Peterson's 3 strokes, 3 swings in. He hasn't hit one out yet.
Oh.
And he hit one. Nope, that's foul.
Oh.
He hit his first on his 5th swing.
I think sometimes getting that first one psychologically,
Yeah, and got another one on his 6th swing. And he's uppercutting the ball unbelievably. He's hit one on his 7th swing, so it's 3 in a row. Well, let's talk about other things. I want to talk about women's soccer.
Okay.
They drove the ratings, highest rated soccer, even more than the Men's World Cup.
Yep.
They talked their talk. They walked their walk.
They did.
They were bullies. They were aggressive. They didn't back off. I found it fascinating to watch, and I don't watch soccer, and yet I watched 4 of the games.
Mm-hmm.
They were a compelling story for me. Now, the new compelling story for me is if they are all going to boycott the White House. Because I think if an entire women's team boycotts the White House and they make the statement that they're not going to go because of Trump's attitudes toward women and the way he's treated women in the past, I think that's a statement that could get some traction. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, because if 1 or 2 don't go, Trump can spin that. But he can't spin if a whole team.
I think the whole team will not go. And
I'm hoping that's true, but I'm hoping they make the statement.
Yeah.
Not go and say that.
I just think there's so much, like the cycle of news is so quick and so powerful, it comes and goes, Like it's hard to make a statement because there's always something new coming down the pipe. So.
Now, what I like too in the home run derby I'm watching now, Jason, is they have special Olympians paired up with each of the home run hitters.
Okay.
Like is their personal bat boy.
Oh, that's very nice.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's what it looks like. I have the sound off, so I don't know that, but I see all these special needs kids with the jerseys on of the home run hitters going out on the field to help the home run hitters bring them water and that. So I hope that's true. That's a really nice tie-in.
Yeah, if that's what's going on, that's beautiful. I love that.
So Zach Peterson just started took a break, and now he's up to 5 home runs.
Okay.
His last one was 433 feet.
Yeah.
So I also want to talk about Coco Gauff, who was a very exciting player. Lost today in Wimbledon, but went pretty far for a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And she was exciting. And so I'm looking for an interest in rebirth in tennis in the U.S.
It'd be nice to see.
I just think that
but I don't like. I didn't watch any women's soccer because I don't watch any soccer, and I'm just consistent. Like I don't watch swimming because I don't care about swimming. I don't care if it's the Olympics or somebody in my pool in the backyard. Like I'm not a swim person. I'm same with soccer and tennis. Like I watch the sports I watch, and I'm probably never going to change. Like I didn't start watching golf because of Tiger. It just doesn't move the needle for me. I like the sports I like. I don't know how many people are like me, but that's how I've always sort of been. Like a compelling story of somebody cool doesn't change. I mean, I'm not going to all of a sudden jump over there. I need to like the actual event before I'm going to watch it.
Understood.
People like that, or that's it. I mean, but that's I don't. I like what I like. I guess would be my sports statement on that.
That's fair. Jock Peterson update. He's got 15 with 21 seconds left in the first round.
It sounds pretty strong.
Yeah, he looks like he's tiring now. Then they say that he just whacked one out.
I think. That's one thing. I think the home run derby is you still get a lot of star players, and it's still a compelling event.
Okay, he goes for 17 in the first round, and he earned a 30-second bonus.
Oh,
and so he comes back up at bat in 25 seconds for another 30 seconds.
It's a nice little twist.
Yeah, they've tried to work it, and you get like for his longest home run was 452, and every time you get one over 450, you get a bonus. So Josh Bell, who hits a lot of really long home runs, this could really play in his favor.
Yeah,
and really nice story about Josh Bell. He's having a guy that he played with, and in the minor leagues, got hurt, and then became a coach. Is going to be his batting practice pitcher.
That is nice. Yeah. And hopefully he can keep it up. He's having a really nice season for the Pirates, and it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, really nice season. He is really carrying the team, along with with two rookies both hitting over 330.
Yeah.
So that's impressive as well.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Okay, he's starting his bonus 30 seconds now. And he just hit another one out, 18. Basically, you're getting tired, though.
Mm-hmm.
19.
It's pretty good. Now,
he ended up with 21.
That's a nice
Nope,
number.
20.
Oh, either way.
So he ended up with 21.
That's a real nice number to start, I think.
Yeah. And so he was one of the picks that somebody picked. I think he was like 7-2. Let's see. So, hey, do you have your email handy? The email I forwarded you from Chase today?
I do. So Chase was asking us, I'll just read the whole thing. He saw the Clippers ticket sales office remain closed for the 4th, despite the free agent signing. So all the reps would have a fair shot at capitalizing on the news, right? Because, in 4th of July, they got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. His first thought was that's an amazingly employee-centric move. But also understand that all of them likely got cell phones and are going to be calling clients regardless. Because they'd rather be taking advantage of the situation than lounging.
Exactly. You know what? Here's the story. I like the move if you're making sure if you're saying it's employee centric and you want people to relax and come back, rest up for the holiday weekend and come back in. But if I was the manager of the ticket sales, I'd have called my guys and said, "Listen, it's voluntary, but if you want to come in, I'm going to be there, and you come on in and make some calls or answer the phones, do whatever you want to do." Because there was a lot of money to be made, I guarantee, within that first 24 hours.
Oh, a ton of money to be made.
And so I would have, if I was a manager, I would have not wanted to miss out on that. And I would have definitely made it voluntary. I wouldn't have required my team to come in, but I know that the guys that really were motivated, dedicated would have come in.
And I think you could do it. You could still be employee centric. You'd be like, look, this is a once in a lifetime freak thing, come work now and take next Thursday off. Or take a 3-day weekend next. I think there's ways you can still give them that same day. I know it's not the same because it's a major holiday.
Or you could have a floating holiday added to Labor Day or Thanksgiving, whatever you want.
Exactly.
But I think it's, you're still going to get the revenue, but I would have taken advantage of the passion and the enthusiasm and the excitement about it. I wouldn't have missed out on that.
Because you didn't just get Kawhi. You got Kawhi and Paul George, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And again, up until Paul George signed, it seemed like it was Jalen Rose, who's been pretty accurate, especially with player things, said it was 99% sure Kawhi was going back to Toronto on at least a 2-year deal. And it seemed like the way the Lakers were playing everything by not signing anybody, keeping that cap space open, they thought they had a great shot at him too. And you sort of figured the Clippers didn't get that second star. They didn't get Kyrie. They didn't get KD. They didn't get anybody. So it seemed like they were maybe on the team on their way out,
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, one trade later, and Kawhi Leonard's there. I mean, it's,
Well, here's an interesting thing. And most arenas aren't set up this way, but the Staples Center is AEG owns the Staples Center. So they have the rights for premium seats for all events in the Staples Center. So in other words, if you want a suite, you're buying a suite for the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Kings.
Oh.
If you want club seats or courtside seats, or club seats, that are in a premium location, you're buying it for all the teams. So usually that would be a tough sell, right? But now, if you got 82 games of the Clippers and the Lakers for the first time, that's a good thing.
Yeah, you got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Anthony Davis, LeBron James.
Yeah.
Plus whoever's visiting.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk to one of the people at the Staples Center next week, and I'll just get some information from her for our show. But, we won't be able to have her on because we talked about our technical difficulties before. But it's a pretty unique thing.
Very unique.
Did Chase have another point?
Or he talked about women's soccer as well. But I think we sort of covered the women's soccer thing.
Of course he did.
He was basically asking you,
Chase,
in charge of what would you do to take advantage of the World Cup?
Chase, I know you're listening, and I already said I watched 4 games, which is 4 more games than you would have ever thought I would watch.
Right, but he was saying, is there anything based on, and I don't think there is, because the Women's World Cup team keeps winning every time they have a World Cup. I mean, to be fair, most of the other countries we play, you could fit in any one of our 50 states. So we have a huge advantage. But, I don't know how you can make women's soccer, I could really take advantage of it because they've won, 3 of the last 4 cups?
Well, here's what I would tell you. Everybody was whining about that UConn was kicking everybody's ass, right? In women's basketball. And, it's not good for the sport and it's not this. Well, what's happened? Everybody got better because UConn wasn't letting them win. They had to beat UConn.
Right.
And the same thing's going to happen here. These other countries are going to reload and they're going to get better and they're going to be trying to beat the U.S. really aggressively. And sooner or later it's going to happen. It will happen. These things will go. Now, the thing I think is interesting about this women's national team is a lot of them play in this professional league that we have here in the U.S. But nobody cares because it's not all of them. It's 1 or 2 of them, and it's not that compelling.
No, I think,
and Patriots saw it happen last time. I saw it happen last time after the last World Cup, and it didn't really have an impact on attendance. And you would have thought that it would.
I think, obviously you have the nationalism thing and people are excited about, a World Cup beating other countries. It's an event. But, you also have, attendance in almost everything is getting, is tougher and tougher because there's just so many things to do, so many things to watch, so many things to experience, and that's just growing and growing. So it's like, I don't see, a lower stakes game in the women's league over here. I just don't think it's going to have the same appeal as, this is the one the Women's World Cup every couple of years. They come all together. They play the other countries. Maybe you have friends from other countries. Like it's a whole thing. Whereas, a regular soccer game is a regular soccer game. And if you like soccer, you're going to go. And if you're not a soccer person, maybe you go once. But I think it's a tough sell to change much.
Well, one of the things I got a kick out of was that it was the Netherlands. And I don't know if you remember the Seinfeld episode where George was asking about what's with Holland. And Jerry goes, "Where is Holland?" Or they said, "Where's Holland?" He goes, "It's next to Belgium." And Jerry goes, "No, that's the Netherlands." George, one of them said, "That's the Netherlands. It's the same place." And so they start going on about Holland, the Netherlands, and the Dutch. And it's a pretty fun thing. But that all got a lot of good replay all weekend long after the game against the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah.
So Alex Bergman hit 16. And you know what they said, Jason? They said that the left-handed batters were going to have a distinct advantage. And because there's a pretty high wall in right field, left field, you got to clear if you're a right-handed batter. And so Alex Bergman went through and he didn't get any bonus time because he didn't hit any balls that as far as he needed to hit them to get them. So Josh Bell had talked about being a switch hitter. If things were going, if he needed a switch, he could go right, but he was going to bat left.
That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Well, I had a definite entertainment moment this week.
Did you go see the movie you talked about?
Midsummer.
And?
Well, just to put it out there, I don't know if anyone's. Did you see Heredity last year or a couple years ago?
No, I did not see that. Now, so my question to you is, do I have to see that before I see this?
No, but what you realize, like Jordan Peele, who obviously wrote Get Out and Us, said this is a masterpiece in Midsummer. And what I would say is both of his films, both Heredity and Midsummer, they have some very disturbing moments physically, like things that you're going to see and you're going to like jump back. So there is that, horror moment to it, but it's not such more of a deeper psychological thing that you're watching. It's just really, really crazy. And the second I finished the movie, because this isn't giving much away because it's all in the trailer, but there's a couple people working on their grad student thesis in the film. And they get invited by a Swede who's also in their program to go back to Sweden for this special 9-day celebration they do from time to time. And, they end up as guests at this weird festival, the Midsummer Festival, based on the solstice and all this sort of stuff. And it's really cool.
Okay.
Like I said, it is a little bit. There's some parts that you're gonna cringe probably, but it's not done just out of grotesque nasty. It's just to really set the mood and the tone and everything else. It's a little reminiscent. It's like they said it's like the best cult movie, or cult, like not cult, but traditional, value custom movie since the original Wicker Man from 1973.
Okay, but if I just went and go to see this, it doesn't. I'm not dependent upon having.
Oh no, Heredity has nothing. It was just he makes a certain style of horror film where it's a very like it pulls on you emotionally. I think more than most horror. Like there's times where it's almost stressful, but you're still enjoying the movie, but it's like some horror movies are just escape as it's fun, or scary like a roller coaster. This one has a very psychological pull that really affects you, and it's really really well done, really good. So
okay. Any food moments for you?
I thought I was going to have one, but I went to what is considered the best fried chicken in the country, according to many magazines and everything else, which is Willimae's Scotch House. And I got to be honest, while it was very well cooked chicken, it was really bland, and I had to cover it in hot sauce just to get it down. I was not impressed. Yeah,
interesting.
And it's a fellow New Orleans people that echoed it as well.
Moment.
That it's a place based on reputation more so than.
Well, my food moment, I guess, is I ordered pizza from Jet Pizza.
Yeah, the chain Jet Pizza.
It's a chain. It's a Detroit style pizza, and I thought it was very good.
Yeah. I've had Jet as well, and it's definitely better than your average chain restaurant, or chain pizza.
And I had the one we talked about, which is like it's baked in. It's a pan pizza, and the cheese goes end to end, and it's kind of caramelized in the crust. And it was really, really good.
Yeah,
I
so you get a
really
nice
enjoyed it.
crispy edge along the outside, which is really good.
And I was also impressed that it delivered well
Oh,
because it comes all the way from
yeah,
Clearwater. And you know where like the Culver's and all that is? That's where Jet Pizza is. So it's got a long way to go
that
across
is
the
a lot,
bridge and
especially
everything else.
depending on the time you order it. Yeah, that is a very long way. Wow,
Yeah. It's at 30 to 40 minutes from the time you order it. And I thought it, and I was, like I said, I was pleased with it. It
that's
was
good to
good.
hear. It's very good to hear.
Yeah.
And I guess my other pseudo entertainment moment: 42 million people in this country. I have watched half of Stranger Things season 3. It's a
And
cute show. I mean, I don't think it quite deserves all the praise it gets, but it's a very cute, fun, 80s nostalgia show. You know, you get songs, you get a lot of homages to, another 80, John Carpenter and, Goonies and things along those lines. And I think the saving grace of this show is I think they did a really good job of casting those kids. Like, I think they hit it out of the park with every single kid on that show, which is, I think,
cool.
and they've done a good job this season because, anytime you cast kids, they grow. And these kids, for the most part, have all grown quite a bit, but they've transitioned it really nicely. They haven't tried to, they're addressing their growing upness, if you will, in a very positive way, I would say.
Well, I'm watching Vlad Guerrero Jr. He's got 23 seconds left, and he's hit out 23.
Oh,
But you know what? I don't see if he has to go to another round. He swings so violently that I don't think he'll have anything left in his
just like his
tank.
dad.
I mean, really violently, and I think he's going to do. Let's see, he hit 24, and I think he earned a 30. I think he earned a
Wow.
30-second bonus. But I just think he's going to be exhausted.
Hmm.
I mean, his swing is so violent. Interesting. Well, my entertainment, I've been watching Big Little Lies, and I've been watching City on a Hill, and I watch them back to back. They're both on the same time, but I watch them back to back. And I will tell you, that's 2 hours of the least likable characters I've
Oh,
ever
wow.
assembled between the two. There's nobody likable in Big Little Lies except maybe the little kids, and there's nobody likable. Even the priest on City on the Hill, nobody's likable. And Kevin Bacon is the star, or one of the stars. And it's like he took his character from Diner Fenwick, who had an alcohol problem, and became an FBI agent with an attitude. And he's just a rotten SOB. So I mean, so Guerrero is now at 28,
Wow.
29.
That is a lot.
No, 28. It didn't go out. 28. If he had the same wall as in right field, he'd have probably had about 8 more.
Wow.
All right. Well, I guess that winds up our show
Again, thank you
tonight.
for being patient with last week. Like I said, I went ahead and posted it anyway, despite the fact that it's not the best listen, but I still thought there was enough there that, if you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. So,
Yeah, I think, we had Felicia and her top sales guy on, and we're kind of talking the way that the tape came out. We're all talking at the same time, 4 of us, and that really didn't happen, but it replayed over. But there's a lot of time with just you and I are on.
yeah.
That's fine.
So if you forwarded like the 10-minute mark, you pretty much get the show. But
Yeah. But like I said, until we figure this out, the only way I think we can do a guest is if we, or at least right now, maybe we'll try it again, but at least right now, unless they're with you or with me, that's probably the
I
only
think
way we
so.
should try it.
But we're going to work on it. I've been in contact with the company we pay to host our site and do our post audio work, and they are working on it. Is what they tell me. So hopefully we get it done. I don't know, but thank you for being with us. You know,
Hopefully we will.
continuing support. We really, really appreciate it.
All right. Everybody have a good week.